Dog fans, welcome to I guess, humbling season's end show of Hunker Down, and there will be a little bit of up with the white and gold in the middle of this as well. As both teams have decided they've had enough this season and have closed out for the year, but so much more we can get into, so much more we're going to talk about. Before I do
hmm
that, I'm Jeremy York. I'll introduce, as everybody knows, my tag team partner on this show, Jake Skinner. How are you, bud?
Getting over a cold still, apparently, and as you just cut through hearing, my cough is turning into a wheeze. So I apologize to everyone out there for my voice, or who knows how this is going to go. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, getting over one myself. Like I said, I have no fewer than three or four of these besides one in my mouth now so that I don't cough through this show as I've done through the last handful I've done.
Yeah,
But,
you were smarter than me.
well, I just happen to have them. It's one of those things, truth be told, we'll pull the curtain back a little bit. When you're in media and you talk for a living, whether it's your shoot job or whether it's your hobby or whatever, and you just know that you
True.
need to run your mouth to make money, you tend to make sure that you always protect your voice. And if you're sick, that you can masquerade what you have. And so you always
That's fair.
have cough drops and you always have Listerine strips and you always you avoid coffee right before you like deep coffee before you get on stuff like that. But just little tricks you learn as you go along. You usually learn the hard way, but I always have some sort of peppermint or something. But we've had a lot of really cool bowls. And between my team, your team, and John's team, they have all decided how they wanted to end the year. And boy, we do. Even though we have more time on this show now, you're welcome, everybody. There's no time limit. Well, there is. It's going to take us a long time to get there. Um, uh, thank goodness that my team, like I said, we could go for days on the fun circus that turned into. But this show is about Jake's team and John's team, and we're going to get more into that now. I said beforehand, it's up to you. What direction you want to go?
We'll just go ahead and hit some of our bowl games. Sadly, we didn't get a
Okay.
show out before the new year after Christmas.
Yeah.
I was out sick. He had some stuff come up, so sadly, we just didn't get around to it.
The
Needed the
good thing
rest
is we were
anyway.
undefeated in our pick. We
We
hit
were.
every one of them. We were. We yeah. I mean, all the
I'm
ones that
waiting
we were
for
going to
this.
do on that show,
There it is.
on the second show, the one we didn't get to do. Oh, there she is.
Yeah, we are having a grand time here. Whoop,
hmm
don't fall. So Luna's enjoying it. She's enjoyed the 2 weeks off from work and getting to be at home. So
Yeah.
hey, Hawaii won. They beat California. We just got through talking about that. That was a
I
game that
thought
we
you said it was
both
the
kind of.
opposite.
I
That's what I was
apologize.
thinking.
Yeah, I
Okay.
said it backwards. But yeah, I think you and I both kind of picked pretty good on our bowls
Yeah,
for
we
the
did.
most part.
I mean, all the ones
Um,
we picked that everybody heard, we did okay on those. But man, that other show that we didn't get a chance to record, we were undefeated. We all agreed we did so well on those. I wish you guys would have got to hear that one.
True, better than the UGA basketball team just did. Got beat by 15 to Florida. Um, but yeah, I mean, looking at the bowl games, I know we'll talk about them in a minute,
hmm
but excuse me, but I will say I enjoyed watching that TCU USC game. That was a heck of a finish. And the I won't deny I enjoyed seeing Vanderbilt and the Diego Pavia get humbled by Iowa
mm
in the Raleigh Quest Bowl down at Raymond James, and
Yeah.
the fun game that was Duke and Arizona State. That was a good one.
Yeah. One's kind of stuck out. You said Hawaii, California. I did watch a lot of that just because it seems like a fun game.
Always.
Maybe we can figure out credentials for next year for that one. I'd love to go to that bowl game. Um, we'll talk about it later on, but shout out to BYU I mean, for doing what you needed to do because it didn't look good to start with. And like I said, we'll get more into that later. Um, Kind of funny. I'm a Lane Kiffin fan. I don't apologize for that. Kind of funny with the whole situation. We'll talk about Texas A&M in a minute, but part of his coaching staff there, and they're doing so well and he's getting bonuses for being there. And then his new team, LSU, who he's not coaching yet, his new team uh, got beat by Houston, which I thought was pretty funny.
Which was weird to me
Um,
that he actually left like after the first quarter, I think, or halftime. He just up and left the game, like not even sticking around, not going to the box, nothing, just left the stadium. Kind of found
I
that
think
weird.
he
Like
was taking a phone call from Venezuela or something. I heard. I can't remember
I saw
exactly.
that too, where he's
I
left
thought I thought I saw
LSU to become
something
the new
about that.
president. I saw that.
I mean, internet's undefeated. Normally, I'm not big into that kind of stuff, but that was pretty
That
funny.
is, yeah. It was kind of fun seeing
Um,
Penn State beat Clemson down. Like Clemson is down
yeah,
bad.
and actually, as much as we both wanted Tennessee to win, Illinois being able to get the win, the Liberty Mutual Music City
Yep.
Bowl, I think that was really cool. Um,
Yeah.
kind of kind of not great that Tennessee lost in the state of Tennessee, but Illinois is a good squad. I know that because I
I
saw them
mean,
play in the
they
Big Ten.
it's not hard to win when you have 140 yards more than the other team. And
But they
we're,
only
you
won by
know,
two.
they won by two, but yardage wise, it was a massive difference. And I'm looking at it. Let's see here. I gotta pull this box score or the recap real quick. Where is it?
Well, there was another one, another
There's
game I
one.
really liked.
Is it the box? Gamecast. Maybe that's it. But yeah, like that basically Illinois. That's right. They kicked a field goal to win it all at the end because Illinois was up before the fourth, 24 to 14.
Yeah, and that's my bad that we weren't undefeated in our picks because we both picked Tennessee to win that one, and we just missed that one. That was the only
Yep.
one we missed, and
Yeah.
that's just because a lot of reasons.
Yeah. Some good ones. We'll go ahead and jump to the next round of bowl games. We'll kind of go ahead and hit
Hmm.
the fun game that was Miami and Ohio State. Um, let's just say it. Ohio State, I'm sorry, but y'all down bad. Georgia down bad. Ohio State's really down bad. A good
Yeah.
defense shuts them down. You lost your offensive coordinator slash the best wide receiver coach you've had in a long time, who's pulled a lot of those five stars, and now those five stars are up and trying to leave. Ohio
Hmm.
State, welcome to reality when it comes to wide receiver. Welcome to the back to the pack with the rest of us. You ain't getting every five star anymore.
Welcome
Not
to.
unless you overpay.
I can't defend your schedule anymore because clearly you had a soft schedule because when you finally faced somebody who could punch you back, you couldn't do
Hmm.
anything with them.
Agreed.
The only
Um,
other team they played, was Indiana, who handed them a loss. So I mean,
right. And it was a close game. So, and then we had Oregon blowing out Texas Tech, keeping Texas Tech from doing anything. We kind of all saw that coming. Oregon's a very great football team. I mean, I wouldn't say
yeah,
great, but very good football team. And Texas Tech,
yes, they
again,
are.
Big 12. I hate to say it, but Big 12, it ain't ain't your daddy's Big 12, Big 8. It ain't that one anymore. It's a bunch of soft teams at this point. They're not as tough. It's all fast-paced offense. Texas Tech did what they could, but they've proved they weren't really a four seed. They probably would have had something similar happen against James Madison.
Plus, I mean, I'm not some great accredited coach, but I mean, it seems like if you were trying to win a college football game, you would at least score points. You can't win if you don't score points.
No, that's true. And then Alabama gets blown out 38 to 3 by Indiana, which is a shocker.
I'll say I didn't see that coming. I thought Alabama was going to win that game. I picked them
I
to
figured
win in a
Indiana
bunch
would
of
win,
brackets.
but I figured it'd be close.
I actually thought Alabama was going to win by like 10. I just thought they had all this momentum. I thought they were just surging ahead, and then
Right.
Indiana just said, "Get off my field."
Well, it
They
doesn't
literally just
help
said, "Get
when
back on your
you're,
bus, go wherever you ain't got to go home, but you can't stay here.
yeah,
Get off the field."
yeah. Well, it goes back to what I said the other week. Alabama doesn't have a running attack. Their leading rusher was their quarterback. They got injured. They had 17 yards rushing with their starting quarterback.
Wow.
Um, Overall rushing yards for Alabama, they had
Yeah.
23. 23 yards rushing. They didn't have none of their backs could do anything. They barely ran the ball. They tried to live and die by the throw. Ty Simpson had 16 attempts, 12 completions for 67 yards.
So let me get this
Defensively,
straight.
Indiana just found a way.
So you said Alabama had 27 more rushing yards than we did this holiday season.
23.
They had 23 more rushing yards than we did.
Yep. And I'm pretty sure I had at least 25 when I was sprinting out of the store. So trying to get home. So yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I gotta say it, Bama, DeBoer it will not be around for much longer, I don't think. I think he has another year. Um, honestly, like I
and
said, I think
I don't think he's bad. It's just he's not going to be given enough time to
no,
turn the
well,
roster the way he
it's the
needs
same
to.
way. You're a lame duck. When you follow a legendary coach that has won titles, the next coach at Georgia will be the same category unless it's someone who can take and replicate, comes from the Kirby system that everyone trusts. You're going to be in that scenario. And trust me, I already know who you're thinking. It better not be him. Um,
I was thinking
if
Chad
that,
Chambliss.
nah, you're thinking Mike Bobo. And if that happened, I might actually
No,
start
no,
taking
no.
this stuff. This
I would.
podcast becomes an Oregon podcast or something else. Like we might be pulling for Georgia State at
I
that point.
I would not wish that on anybody, and that's nothing personal to Mike Bobo.
I'd
No,
personal for me.
at no point there is no alternate universe where I even see remotely if that makes sense.
Yeah. But we'll get to it. Georgia and Ole Miss. Georgia defensively until that fourth quarter played good enough to win a football game.
Yep.
Offensively, you played good enough in the first half to win that football game. Um, listen, we're gonna start with defense. Georgia's got to get some better pass rush because that's what's hurting them. You had players making stupid plays. You let guys get open
Mhm.
left and right as the game drove on. I saw some personnel usage that I did not appreciate, letting your best cover corner not covering the best receiver for the other team, playing him out of position. You know, you clearly had seen that the kicker for Ole Miss was deadly from any range, and yet you're
Mhm.
going to let them just get play after play to get down there. Yeah, that was good. That's going to go real well. Um, defense played, like I said, until that end, defense played good enough. Offensively, there was zero inspired play calling.
Yeah.
Um, I've never seen that many batted balls by a defensive line in my life. And I watched Doug Flutie play football, and Doug Flutie never had batted passes that bad.
Have you seen a Tim Tebow practice?
No, I have not, but I've heard stories. And
Look,
he,
love love you,
oh,
Tim,
that's
but you know
right.
it's true.
We just have the right-handed version of Tim Tebow, who's about 3 inches shorter. Um, I've never like literally the whole plan is because he drops down because since you can see more of it, I don't know if you saw the former Cowboy coach. What was his name? The one that used to play for the Cowboys,
Jason
Jason
Garrett,
Garrett.
who was
He did a
interviewing for coaching jobs.
Yeah, he actually did a whole sorry, Luna's here. He did a whole special on
I mean, we're
ESPN. Yeah. Yeah, so he did a whole thing
that's
talking
the whole
about the
like
best throwing
Philip
motion.
Rivers works because he's accurate.
Right,
Like
he pushes the
Tebow,
ball.
and yeah,
And so
Tebow
that's what they were talking about
and
is
Gunner and a
like
lot
Aaron
of those,
Rodgers.
it just goes nowhere.
Right. Aaron Rodgers has the best motion of everybody pretty much because it's up and out. Dan Marino was always get it up and get it out as quick as you can. Like you don't want to drop, you don't want to round. You want to
No,
go
he just.
here. Right, you want everything here and going. Like you want to lock and load.
Hmm.
Our quarterback at Georgia does this whole little baseball throw. He might be the all-time leading passing passer in Georgia high school history, but with that throwing motion, all a team had to do, and you watched it in slow-mo, is they literally said, one, two, three, got it,
Yep.
multiple play times.
I
Um,
mean, you know who his windup reminds me of?
let me guess, Mike Musina, Daryl
Close,
Star.
close, close. No, Hideo Nomo.
That honestly, right there it is. Yeah, everything but the butt
Where you're
turn.
just like, oh my God, throw the ball.
Listen, it's ugly. Sadly, Georgia's going to run it back next year. There will be no offensive coordinator change that I'm aware of. I've not heard
So
anything
far, so far.
so far. I'm pretty confident, pretty sure at this point that as that I'd say it, pretty sure that Kirby's got about 6, 7 more years in him before he's probably tired of the football. I'm tired of dealing with everything, and he's probably going to ride him and his best friend going to ride together the rest of the way down. Um, this will be the swan song for Gunner and Bobo. Hopefully, Bobo leaves after this next season. I don't
Maybe.
wish anything bad. I was telling my dad, I don't wish anything bad to Gunner. I don't wish anything
Yeah,
bad to any players. I'm not that person, even when they're facing my team. But the only way Gunner's not our starter next year is if we have a Jake Fromm situation where takes a shot because I won't lie, he's the toughest SOB on that football field, and
sure.
he loves the game. But he took some hits. But let's just face it, unless he gets injured, and I'm talking broken something, he will be the starter. And honestly, the only way we see a different quarterback next year is if something breaks. And I don't wish that. Not saying I wish that, but there is a part of me that goes, I don't want that to happen. But I wish we'd at least let Monty play because from everything I've heard about that freshman, like again, all the stuff I've told you, Gunners, before the season, his deep ball, the accuracy, the way he does things, he might get everything set up before the play, but he's not going to make NFL throws. He's not going to do all the stuff that he did in practice. Like nothing's there. Like, excuse me, what's the point of going after these guys, receivers that can go deep? We can't get the ball more than 5 yards past the line of scrimmage.
No,
That's our entire offense with Gunner. We're literally playing in a box now.
it's
And
I don't know if you remember him from the NFL, but Kevin Cobb, KOLB or something. Kevin
yeah,
Cobb. He was
played for
known
Fresno.
as the 5 yard check down, but he was the best at the 5 yard pass. So what they would do is they'd run everybody on these little quick slants. He'd hit them in motion, and he'd get 55 yards
Well,
per pass.
every time that tried to happen, Gunner gets one deflected. But again, throw in motion. I won't dwell on it too much, but Gunner is still not it. He still will not be it next year. Um, I'm not poo-pooing on a season, 12-2. We won an SEC title. That's always a great goal. But for the second year in a row, you get the bye week and you get bounced. Last year was Bobo not tailoring the offense to Gunner's skill set against Notre Dame. This year was,
The same thing.
I don't know. He just didn't call a game. He just did
Yeah,
not call any kind of a game that makes you have any faith in Mike Bobo as a coordinator. Um, I'll say it, dogs. We ain't win another title under Kirby. I don't believe it.
interesting.
As long as the status quo sets is there, um, because under the Monken years of offense, it was basically you had three C-level employees with Kirby being the CEO. Monken was one, Muschamp and Lanning and Schumann kind of in a conglomerate of a C position over here. And
Hmm.
they were, and yes, Monken was abrasive, rude, but the man knew what he was doing. He cared about the ball, and he's like, "You're not starting here." He ran Jake Fromm off. Thank you for that. Like it was that kind of stuff. He said, "You're not good enough to play here, or there's going to be open competition. The best player will play." Now you've gotten rid of that CEO levels, and now you have VPs telling you things that you want to hear, not going, "That's not a good idea, CEO. We need to do things this way, and that's the way it needs to be done." You now have people going, "Yes, sir, let's do it that way. Yes, sir, let's do it that way." I think Kirby's gotten too comfortable being either an ego or he just doesn't like to deal with the friction, which that could be the case. Maybe he doesn't like a ton of confrontation. Maybe he does. I don't know. But things are being mismanaged. And I'm not saying that Saban's the golden standard, but say that's what Saban did better than anything was he let his coaches coach. He got people smarter than him to run things, even running his own defense said, run it this way. But yeah, put your spin on it. Georgia ain't doing that anymore. We've stagnated and I'm scared that this stagnation will continue until Kirby retires. Again, one bad year, but to be fair, it's two back-to-back years of Mike Bobo's play calling that's not getting us anywhere. It's
Yeah,
2 years, and it's just getting tougher to watch Georgia. We're heading back to a Mark Richt era.
yeah.
Again, not poo-pooing on a great on the season we
I
had,
mean, at
everything, the
least
two
at
titles.
least you got the championships out of the way. Something Rick didn't get to, but
Right, and I'm not saying because
yeah,
I know
it's
John would be because
kind of
John
like
texted about Tech.
it's kind of like
Yeah,
it's kind of like I mean, I got a fun little poem here in a minute that'll make more sense, but it's kind of like the first hill of the roller coaster. You go all the way up, and you get to the top, and that's the biggest hill you're going to go up, and then the
it
rest
could
of it's just
be.
all
Honestly,
sideways
at
and
this
upside
point,
down and all
it
that.
feels
And
like a Mike Tomlin tenure, with the exception of winning the title the second year. That's really what it is. It's very much like we're just, and again, that's not a bad thing.
like a
Georgia's going
Mike
to win.
Tomlin, like a John Harbaugh. I mean, big fans of both of them.
Yeah,
We just saw the Ravens decided to move on for that reason. They're like, you
we
got
can't get any
Lamar
farther.
and you got this defense, and then this was the best you could do. So we got to do something different.
Right. And I love Kirby. I love the dogs. I'll always be, as Louis Grizzard always said, I was Bulldog born and I was Bulldog bred, and by God, I'll be a Bulldog till I'm Bulldog dead. Always will be. But I will say the same thing. We demand excellence as fans. I'm happy with this season. I always want SEC titles. I want the playoff every year. I just don't see the ceiling being the title game, the ceiling anymore when your coordinator routinely does things that baffle you and openly told the number one quarterback recruit that there's no open competition next year, that is Gunner all the way. Why?
That's one
It's
thing I
the
could say
dumbest
about a
thing.
lot of other coaches, whether you like him or not. Even Belichick is he told Brady every day his job was up. Is like one of those
Right.
like, hey, we compete every day. Pete Carroll, Dan Quinn, those guys. It was like competition Wednesday or competition Thursday. It's like sure you can practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You can see all the film. On Thursday, we're going for jobs.
Right. And again, I'm not trying to sit here because I know John sent me a message. He'd love to see Tech in a position like this every year. I'm not saying that
Sure,
Georgia, yes, we've gotten spoiled by the titles and pushing for it. And I hear half the fan base wanting Stetson back, and other half saying that we got it. Literally, I've heard people say, "Well, wish Stetson could play." I'm not saying nothing bad about that. Yes, we still wish because what Stetson brought as a quarterback.
you'd be in a similar boat.
The problem is the play calling. It's the coaching. I think we have plenty of talent. Even with Gunner, we could still win. But
Sure.
you've got to put your best players in a position to win, and we ain't doing that anymore.
Hmm.
So to move on, before we start talking transfer portal, playoffs, we're talking playoffs. Uh, I'll just say Georgia, great season. Hated the ending. I don't know that we could have held on against an Indiana and Oregon at this point, just based on that last game. So I'm glad we out of it. I think they'd have beaten Miami, but I don't think Georgia could have held on for a title against those other two teams that are too hungry with the play calling and the quarterback we have. Again, it ain't all Gunner's fault. There's other issues all on that football team. But needless to say, like I just want to see a quarterback come to Georgia and actually go like Stafford in the top 10, not number one overall and be like, yeah, this guy's actually it. I just want to see NFL level throws at a college level because there's too many other guys that have done it, provided they get developed and don't keep transferring every year.
Yeah, and it may just be where we're at. But before we move on, as an ode to not just Georgia but a lot of teams about this time of year, um, I've prepared a little poem.
Is that the big comfy
And I'll,
couch?
I'll direct it at Georgia. This is the Georgia show. Um, so, Georgia fans, no one told you life could be this way. Your offensive coordinator's a joke, and your love is what drives this team. Sometimes it feels like you're always stuck in second gear. I'd say majority of the year because it wasn't your day, your week, your month, or even your year.
It wasn't our year.
But
Yeah.
but you know what? Hunker down. We'll be there for you. We're there for you. That's what this show is about. Is you the fans? We're there for you guys. So when we're all hanging out on this thing back here, we're in this together.
Is this where I look at you and go, I'm fine? You know what? No, what needs to happen is Georgia needs to pivot from Mike Bobo. Pivot.
Or I mean, nowadays I'm going to direct it to you because you're the resident Georgia fan, bigger Georgia fan on the show. But to any Georgia fan, do we need to walk around and go, "How you doing?"
I think mo there are fans who are on the ledge. I'm on a board with a lot of them. I was on a ledge for the first 2, 3 days. You saw my messages. My dad was like, "You need to breathe," and I'm like, "I will. Give me 3 days to get over this." I was never mad at the dogs. I was mad at Kirby. I was mad at Gunner. I was mad at Bobo, and I'm mad at staff. I don't think this is the players' fault. I think this is a staffing issue. We got a great bunch of recruiters, but I don't know that we have the developers that we did have or people holding those people accountable. We don't have the smartest people in the room anymore. I think pivot away from some of those coaches. And dear God, I wish some of them would leave and like yesterday, but I don't think anyone's leaving.
So Georgia fans, my advice is, maybe adopt a duck, share an apartment with your best friend, and maybe go have some coffee on a cool couch. There you go.
So be in that place, and I appreciate all the references, and forever we're gonna start
Tried.
sneaking those in more. We got a Peach Bowl and a Fiesta Bowl coming up.
We do.
I do want
Well,
to
let
talk
me bring
about in a
up this
minute.
too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think the break for the people who had buys was too long?
Way too long.
I do. I do. It's way too long. I would
Um,
say
yeah,
like whatever the last whatever conference championships, that's usually the last week. If you want to
that next week should
I
be
would
the
almost
Army Navy game by itself. No bowl games,
correct.
no nothing,
And then first round, second round. That
and
way if
play.
you have a bye, you only get 2 weeks off, not three. Three is so long.
It's 21 to 28 days off is way too much.
Yeah.
Because Georgia was the 6th until the 31st. Okay. Um, if anything, like again, I think the only game on TV, well, okay, I'm actually good with this. Noon to 3:30 kickoff is the Army Navy game, and then the first bowl game starts that night. And it doesn't have to be the Celebration Bowl, it can be whatever bowl game, because that's basically how it lined up. But I
Yeah.
honestly think that either you remove that second bye week from teams, or you should move the season up by 1 week. I forgot, I can't find the thing I saw on the board message board, but I liked it. Basically, all your playoffs, all
Playoff.
the games that you playoff we talking the championship is on New Year's Day. Now, I think that should be the case, or worst case is what the weekend we're about to have the semifinals should be the finals. Not the 19th of January. It should be the 8th or the 9th. It should be, or
Yeah.
whatever day that week you want to do it, but we should be like, yes, I know the Rose Bowl people and everyone else are going to hate it, but guess what? Get back to having the Rose Bowl and the Peach Bowl, the Rose Bowl and the Cotton Bowl, whatever, Sugar Bowl. That's your New Year's Eve, New Year's Day game.
Hmm.
That next week's at the national championship game. Let's finish this thing up 2 weeks earlier than we already, a week to 2 weeks earlier than we already do. These, and also on top of this, as part of the schedule change, the transfer portal should not open until the day after the national title. And again, this is also because of the way the school schedule works. Because, I mean, hey, we have free agency in college now. Schools are actually, in Georgia's University of Georgia and a lot of the other institutions, one which I work for, they've all pushed back their starting date 1 week. They used to start on the 5th. They don't start anymore. They now start that second week.
Hmm.
Why? To let kids get in because of football, because of that's how much it's changing.
Yep.
Change the system. Let Okay, and also move the transfer portal to other stuff. And guess what? We make things a little bit easier, a little bit nicer. Okay. And also on that note, if you don't mind me ranting, the transfer portal is stupid at this point. We had over 4,000 people enter within the first 2 days, and that's a third of the kids playing for college football.
Hmm.
Um, I'm going to say this: they needed to start implementing stuff. You get one free transfer, you sit out the second one. If your coach leaves or you're a grad student, you get a free pass. Okay,
Sure.
if that situation, but transferring every year, TJ Finley, who's been to every school in 7 years, no, you're done. Clearly, if you can't stick around, NFL ain't for you. Okay, you want to
No.
keep playing, go play UFL. That's what the UFL is for.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say the transfer portal is great, but we're losing too much to these kids wanting who can pay me the most, and if you can't, I'm going to go get where I'm paid. That's the NFL's for. Yes, I get it. Not all of us are going to make it to the NFL. Sorry. We have WWE or WCW Nitro going on behind me. Um, what needs to happen is less transfers, and it's like I said, I don't know. There's just too much like you're seeing quarterbacks who are 5-star recruits who missed out on a chance, and all of a sudden that junior who's waited his turn or transferred in is the better guy. Oh, well, I'm out, so I'm just gonna go play down here because I ain't starting my freshman year or my redshirt freshman. Develop, okay? Stetson Bennett, walk on, red shirt, doesn't play that year, transfers out, we get him back. Oh, look, you're stepping in as a redshirt sophomore or whatever. Well, I think he was a redshirt sophomore.
Yeah.
So
I think it was.
steps back in, or he may have been a redshirt junior, but because of COVID, got that extra year. Steps in, has to play until JT Daniels comes along, and then they realize the next year JT's good, but his shoulder's messed up, and so we're going back to Stetson. And all of a sudden, you saw a third round or late round draft pick because guess what? He developed. He stuck around.
Hmm.
You can't stack rosters for the transfer portal. I love the
Mhm.
parity that the game has now. It's more NFL like. It still sucks because I like seeing Indiana up there, but I'm also like any other year this would have been a Georgia team in the final. But because of parity, we got more. It's better for the game. But boy,
Truth
this is
be told,
actually
you know what
nice.
my final
This is
that
nice
I
not having
wanted.
a time limit.
Yeah, you know what my final that I picked, or the final that I really wanted to see for the championship,
What's that?
and I think it would have lined up. Yeah, they're on both sides of the bracket. I wanted to see Dan Lanning versus Kirby Smart. I
I
thought it'd be
think
fun.
it'd
It'd
have
be
been a
big
good
on
one.
ratings. I'm going to talk about ratings in a minute because it matters. I just thought you've got story. Like I look at it, the pro wrestling thing. You've got your story, you've got your entertainment, your talent. Everything would have lined up where it's like people from Oregon all the way to Georgia and in between would actually want to see this. That's something we're about to have to look at to go, is anybody going to tune in to watch this?
I honestly think looking at these bowl games, I think people are. Cignetti's too big of a story with Indiana
Yeah.
because he had he built most of his roster. Like I saw a graphic. If you were to look, Georgia 90% recruiting, 10% transfer portal, where schools like Texas Tech, Indiana, a lot of Ole Miss, Texas A&M, a lot of the other schools were built through the portal. Again, nothing wrong with going out there and amassing talent. That's the whole point. It's also, some please get stuck behind someone or there's issues with coaches, the players, they got
Mm-hmm.
to move on because you need a fresh voice, okay? I'm not against the transfer portal. It's helped Georgia out. I don't hate it. I just think it needs to be dialed down a little bit. But Indiana's built their roster through recruiting and a lot of JMU players.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of JMU.
Well, I
I
tell
don't think
people
it's
that
bad for the
the
game.
difference, because people are like, "Oh, this doesn't happen in the pros." If it does, it's just called something different. I was like, the transfer portal is called free agency, and instead of drafting a player into the pros, that's when you recruit them out of high school. It's the same thing. You're just changing the term. So
Yeah,
you can't apply both things to it. The same things happen in the NFL. Somebody's like, I've been second string behind Ray Lewis for way too long. I'm going to go start somewhere else. Okay, Ray Lewis is a Hall of Fame talent. You're going to get stuck behind him. At least in college, after so many years, it's going to
it
turn, and there is
rotates.
those opportunities where
Yeah.
in the pros you can get stuck behind. Imagine being Tom Brady's backup. You're not going to play unless he falls off a cliff.
Rohan Davey, I don't think he ever saw a snap except for holding the ball.
Yeah, I think he caught the ball once, and that was because they threw it out of bounds.
Yeah, but see, like, again, you look at this, like the roster's built, like that's the only thing I don't like is if Indiana wins, it's proof that the transfer portal is the future. So what's the point of anything else? But like, again, we all knew it was going to be Wild West. I think we need some new rules and someone to enforce them. NCAA, would you grow up here and not let the schools bully you anymore? Or we're going to have, it's going to get worse. Anyway,
Yeah,
honestly, I'm looking forward to these bowl games. Oregon and
sure.
Indiana is going to be a fun one to watch. Um, God, I don't know who's going to win that game. Like I want to see Indiana win it just for the sake of Indiana winning because I think the Cinderella story that is Indiana and Signetti getting his dues because the guy put in the work. He coached for Saban because he wanted to go learn how to be a head coach. Left, no job offers. He basically went down to Division two, I think, or maybe FCS, and he worked at one, got another
Mm-hmm.
job, got them building and going again. Took on JMU, took JMU to the division, the FBS, and then Indiana goes, "We'll give you money and everything you need to come." And all of a sudden, so he goes and gets Mendoza. He picks half his JMU players because he trusts them to run his system, and he picks and chooses the right players. And what has he done? He just landed three or four guys out of the portal that are bona
Mm-hmm.
fide starters in the Southeastern Conference to come play for him at Indiana. Indiana,
Yeah.
okay. Like it's like when I say that
Not
I'm
Ohio
thinking of
State,
Indiana Jones. We named
not
the dog
Alabama,
Indiana.
not Georgia, like
Like
not
yeah,
the big dogs. Come play in Indiana.
yeah, it's beautiful over there, but like still, the crazy part is that Indiana's pulling these kids because they believe in what Cignetti's doing. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
the other part of it is they're the next up and coming team. They're young, it's sexy, it's all this. Okay, fine, but still, like at the end of the day, are you? My biggest thing for the portal is are you getting developed? Are you getting developed to go pro? Because if you keep transferring, how are you getting any better? competition, you're going where it's easiest path for you.
Hmm.
Also,
Yep.
again, I don't think loyalty is a fine line, as in Kirby and them being loyal to Mike Bobo and Gunnar Stockton, but also loyalty is either a bad thing or a good thing depending on the situation. There's no loyalty for the players. Some of it I understand, some of it I don't. But also, anyway, I could rant all night. I'm
But
getting sidetracked
the
tonight on
thing
this
the thing I'm
podcast.
talking about is ratings. I want
Yeah,
to go into that, and then we'll do some picks, and then we'll finish up kind of finishing up Georgia Tech's year as well. Um, or better yet, we'll talk ratings, we'll talk Georgia Tech, and we'll finish with our picks. We'll make people wait till the end,
there you go.
or they'll just fast forward the next 5-10 minutes, one or the other. But either way, thanks for tuning in.
And listen to me rant
Um,
all season long. I really appreciate it.
yeah, absolutely. Hey, we see the numbers. We see you guys. We definitely appreciate you guys. And for anybody new to the show, because we've had some new people check out the show, we definitely appreciate it. Hope you enjoy it. Um, really wish we could both stop coughing, but apparently we can't.
Yeah, maybe for
Um,
maybe for the after the national title game one.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, I wish I knew what it was too. Um, like I'm saying, when you see the big dogs go out, you start to look at let's see, ESPN's got both of these games, so they have the final as well. They all right, they have the last three. All right. So start thinking like an ESPN executive at this point. And the fact that of these four teams, which matchup, like which final matchup, which championship matchup feels like it's going to get the best overall ratings for ESPN.
Honestly, I think you want Ole Miss there because of the controversy between Lane Kiffin's former team and some of his staff members,
There is
and the
story
fact
there.
that Lane Kiffin cannot be in that building because Ole Miss don't want him there. Okay, because he tried to get on ESPN and the ESPN said no.
Yeah, they were like,
Uh,
no thanks.
no, because Miami, yeah, it's Miami. Not knocking that. Any other year, sure. But the Lane Kiffin saga, it's Ole Miss, and I want to say Indiana because of the fact that it's Southeastern Conference and a team that no one really thought was going to make the title game, especially with playing Georgia. You know, the like I said, the hangover from your coach leaving and Pete Golding, who, if he wins this game, he wins it as a first-time head coach in only his third or fourth game as a head coach.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Like, okay, like again, he didn't build this roster. This is someone else's roster. This is him putting his stamp and just using the status quo. So this
Hmm.
coach, Lane Kiffin, doesn't get the title, but Golding does. Like, again, stupid the way this has been done.
Yeah.
And then you have Indiana with Frank Signet with not Frank Kurt Signetti. His dad was Frank, who, by the way, Nick Saban was a coach under Frank Signetti back in the day at one of his jobs. So full
Yeah.
circle there. But you have the Indiana story of new first time, this coach who come in and says, "Google me, I win everywhere." No nonsense, never smiles, just all the entire game. Versus Lane Kiffin and his brash, over the top antics, who's not there anymore, but it's his roster, it's his players and
Hmm.
portal. Versus a team built on the portal through JMU, other schools, and cast-offs from other schools, not starters from everywhere, cast-offs. The other ones that were backups. Some of them were starters, but they weren't big name guys. Mendoza, I forgot where Mendoza had come from, but like he was a transfer. I'm looking that up now. But anyway, that's my point. I think your ratings, you want Indiana and Ole Miss in this game because Oregon, Miami, while that's cool, it's Oregon and Miami. It doesn't create the drama.
I'm trying to figure out where he's from. That's not telling me.
I think it was California. Yeah, Cal. He was at Cal.
That's it, Cal. Yep.
Yep. He was there for 3 years and he redshirted his first year. This is his first year at Indiana, by the way, and he's a redshirt.
Yes.
He's technically a senior redshirt junior. Um, this is his first season there, and he could come back next year, but apparently he's the number one overall pick to be in the draft of the Raiders.
Enjoy Vegas, kid.
Um, Did you hear Rich? Side note: Rich Eisen said on his show that his first call as Tom Brady would be to call Cignetti and go, "Do you want the NFL? Do you want to keep coaching Mendoza?"
I love Rich. Rich is one of my favorite media people of all time.
But
Um, I
Cignetti
have
wouldn't do
to
it.
I have to vehemently disagree with that. Not yet. If this was next year and he did it 2 years in a row where he was deep in the tournament or something, I would go, okay, now there's a pattern. So far, this is a one and done. We've seen him do it one time, and I want to
And
see
he got
you got to do
close
it more than
last
once.
year with he got close last year with the roster he had put together.
Yeah,
I'll
he
give him
did,
that. He got close.
but I got to see more in a couple years. And
Agreed.
yeah, I haven't even heard Rich's take on his new quarterback. So I want to. I mean, his new head coach. So I want to hear that before I say much more about Rich because, like I said, Rich is one of my favorites. Um, like I said, we'll get into our picks later. It's funny that you picked Ole Miss and Indiana as what you think would be the biggest ratings because I am on the absolute opposite side. I am going with the two national deep brands. And everybody knows who the University of Miami is. Everybody knows who Oregon is for whether it's the uniforms, whether it's the trouble they get in and out of. Doesn't matter. Those are two. Most of the time, it's like, hey, name some college football teams. For non-fans, you may have to go 4 or 5 deep, but at some point you're going to get to Miami or Oregon. Oregon usually, like I said, for the uniforms. Miami for the turmoil they tend to be in sometimes, or the weird things that happen down there. But you tend to get those there. So long story short, because I'm going to talk more later when we get into our picks. If I'm ESPN, I am praying to anything that I think is listening that I get Miami and Oregon, not because just they're the upsets of that as well, but I think that screams ESPN matchup way more than Ole Miss Indiana, even though I'm more into the story of Ole Miss and Indiana the way you said it. But if
Now,
I'm ESPN,
again,
I want
I
Oregon
won't
Miami.
deny
I can
that
sell
one's
that.
more exciting. I feel that might be more exciting because I'm sorry, Indiana and Ole Miss, most
More
people are gonna be like,
flashy.
well, I don't
Yeah,
care. It
yeah.
feels like a basketball matchup more so. Even though Ole Miss isn't a big basketball school, it feels like a basketball or baseball matchup more than anything.
Hey, apple pie is great, and it's always great. Very rarely can you mess up apple pie. Apple pie is always a dessert, unless you're allergic, and then insert your whatever your other favorite
Yeah,
pie is here. But Miami, Oregon, to me feels like birthday cake with streamers on top.
fair
It's
enough.
like, hey, I don't go to the store and buy birthday cake, 3-story birthday cake with sprinkles. I usually go buy apple pie. I get a chance at birthday cake on birthday cake.
No, you're not wrong. That is definitely the better matchup, but I just think story
I see
wise,
both sides.
they could run with this Indiana versus Ole Miss thing
Sure.
all day long just because. And again, if Miami and Indiana, that's still a top game. So is Oregon Ole Miss. So I mean,
Yeah.
I think people are going to tune in to see what happens no matter what happens because that's the case. But not
Because
having a
Indiana,
traditional blue blood is
yeah.
feels a little weird this year, man.
I'm glad that we picked it the way we did too, and it's crazy because you had no idea I was going to pick the other ones. I didn't purposely pick the other side. That was the one I was going with. Miami, Indiana. That's going to be a little weird. That's almost Catholics convicts again, almost to a point because you kind of got Opie Taylor and then you got like Ernest T. Bass on this side. I was like, that's probably a good comparison. No,
It
or
really
Otis.
is.
That you got Otis over here.
It's
That's
more of a notice, yeah.
um And then Oregon, Ole Miss, you're just kind of like, because here's the thing about Ole Miss too, they don't have as much of Lane's staff as they did the last round. They're down to two
Hmm.
coaches. Keep that in mind, guys. They're down to
That is
two of
true.
Lane's coaches, and I forgot which ones they are. They aren't. I
Weiss
don't
is
think they're the
staying.
coordinators.
Yeah,
Is
coordinator
it the
stayed.
coordinator? Okay.
Yeah, Weiss is
And
still
that
there,
and
but it's
that
the
may be
rest.
good. That may be bad. It may be indifferent. Who knows? But you're either looking. I would agree that you're either going Ole Miss, Indiana, or you're either going Oregon, Miami. If you don't get that matchup, boy, ESPN is going to spend a lot of dollars trying to get you to watch that game.
Yeah. And guess what? I'll tune in because I want to see what happens.
Let's see where that's ooh, that's tomorrow and Friday. I will do my best to have that on while things are going on at this studio. Luckily it's not on Saturday when it's just day it would be impossible for me to watch that.
Yeah, Thursday and Friday night. Yeah.
That's I will applaud that.
I can at least,
Um
yeah. I mean, this will
yeah.
be fun to watch.
And then, for the sake of it, I don't think, oh, I do have it. Look at that. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. We will move into Georgia Tech talk.
Welcome to the extended Hunker Down episode, everyone. We upgraded the Zoom license this week.
Yes, we did.
So we are getting to hear us ramble longer and harder than normal. I'm sorry, but I
Here,
am
here
not
we go.
putting
Here
on
we go.
that logo. Not
There we
happening.
go.
I don't know if I'm pointing the right way. I ain't putting it on.
You know,
So,
point the other way. There you go.
all right, hold on.
Yep.
Now, can I change it? I'm trying to change it in. There we go. Okay, from now on, I'm going to have you on this side of my screen so I can see which one.
Yeah, I think if I point this way, I'm pointing to you on mine. So,
Flip
which
it.
is as though as
You need to
though
flip
as
it.
though we're sitting next to each other. Because I guess I'm on reverse.
Yeah, again, the way these things run, you never know.
But Georgia Tech, we know we talked a little bit an episode ago of this that they just faded down the stretch. I don't know if they just ran out of gas. I know there was some injuries here and there.
Hmm.
They lost their offensive coordinator. They have recently brought back Godsey to take that over. That means that offense is going to look a lot different than is Faulkner, right?
Yeah, Faulkner.
Those
Yeah,
are
it'll look a
two
lot different.
different guys. Now they're going to try to accomplish the same thing, and they're just swapping out coordinators. They didn't really move much of the rest of the staff, but yeah, you're going from Faulkner that likes to do one thing and Godsey that will do the almost opposite.
Yeah, let's see. Because I don't know a ton about Godsey. Let's see.
He's a big name around campus. I've heard John say his name no fewer than about 14,765,000 times.
That is true.
Um,
And
he
what's
he
and
has done
also
some
he,
stuff in the past. He's not just popular. Like he's really done some great stuff for the school. Just I don't know. I like he bringing in another familiar name and face like that. I think he does fit the way he does things. I want to see what it does because they lose Haynes King this year, right?
Haynes, yeah, they lost Haynes and Aaron Philo, the backup. Everyone was pegging to be the next starter. Followed his coordinator um to Florida. Morris Tech lost a lot of coaches, quite a few
I
players.
thought they transferred a guy in though. I thought I remembered seeing that. I could be wrong. It has happened once or twice before.
Right.
Um,
So,
I thought I saw that they
again,
had transferred a quarterback in.
I can't remember at the moment.
I don't see anybody yet. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm looking right now, I'm asking ChatGPT, like what kind of offense he ran, because he was a coordinator last time he did call plays was it the Houston Texans,
Mm-hmm.
and he did that through looking, well, dang, I can't find it anymore. 15 and 16,
Okay.
2015. He was under Bill O'Brien, so you can kind of figure pro style spread. Um, let's see
Oh wow, they lost Bailey Stockton to Florida too.
that they
Uh,
did, yeah.
that one hurts.
The only thing I will say to this, now we again, the quarterback, who was the quarterback for the Texans in 15, 16? Was it Watson still? Yeah, it was Watson.
Yeah.
I think well no, it was either Watson or right before him. I will definitely say what I'm looking at. Oh, they had four different starters in 15 at quarterbacks. So that must have been before his. They had zero passing game and nothing but run. So I'm assuming he's changed up because he's been with the Ravens as a tight ends coach. He'll probably we'll see. I mean, they've not talked about it. I don't know much about him, but hey, good luck, Tech.
Yeah.
You got a new coordinator. Whether he's better than Buster or not, I don't know. I wish we could get a new coordinator.
Yeah. This is
I'd
one
take
time
Bugs
Georgia's
Bunny
a
at
little.
this point.
You take Dave and Buster.
I'd take Dave and Buster because I'm sick of Elmer Fudd coaching it.
Absolutely. But just to kind of wind it down for Tech, like I said, they faded. They made the Pop Tarts Bowl, which is one of the more exciting ones because it's kind of fun, and I
Oh
think
yeah, they got
Nickelodeon's
special
in on that.
uniforms for it. It was awesome.
But yeah, they had
It's-
the cool sprinkles and like they had all the great. That's a fun one to be at, and they just couldn't hang on to that one the same way they couldn't hang on the rest of the year. And
Yep.
they got to figure out how to keep that intensity up the entire year. Like I said, it just felt like they faded. I don't know if they just ran out of gas or just got tired. I mean, I don't know what happened. It just out of
Yeah.
nowhere, they just Thelma and Louise right off the cliff.
Agreed. Yeah.
But like I said,
I
we
mean,
weren't
they were
going to
fun
spend
to
a whole
watch
lot of
this year,
time. Just
but yeah,
yeah, I mean, in a
it
year when, in all likelihood, by about week 4, I had them pegged to at least compete for the ACC, if not win it. And for a majority of the year, I thought that all the way up until about 2 weeks out when they eliminated themselves. I still thought if they can sneak in, they can still win this. I thought they potentially make the playoff, and if not, be in one of the highest bowls you can get in outside of the playoff. And I thought for sure they were going to beat the team he's wearing on his shirt. I was like, this is the year they're going to win by like 10 or 12 or 14, and just Georgia's going to be upside down. Like, what just happened? It's like, well, they're a crazy matchup, and then they
yeah.
just like stop showing up. And when they stop showing up, you can't predict them, and the other teams were just running around them.
Yeah, that's very true. Like I mean, not much you can do. Like again, I think Tech could use an overhaul of some talent to key positions.
Yeah.
Nothing against your quarterback, not against the quarterback, but Haynes King is they had to rely on him to be Mr. Wonderful and at Mr. Fantastic. And by the end of the season, Mr.
Hmm.
Fantastic was uh at that point he didn't have any stretch left. He was just like, I
He,
got
he,
nothing, boss.
he was more like Mr. Bean.
That's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it.
I got him all choked up about it.
Oh, you did. Sorry.
But yeah, it's yeah, like I said, we weren't going to say a whole lot, but I just wanted to tie up Georgia Tech as well tonight. Just obviously we're going to have more in the we'll have one off here and there when things happen for probably in the spring or summer. Just randomly we'll just pop on when we're out and about somewhere to just talk a little ball here and there. But I mean, all in all, uh, for the most part, Georgia 85 to 90% did what we thought they would do this year, and Tech about 75% because it just
Yeah.
fell apart in
Hey,
the end.
I said Georgia'd have 2 to 3 SEC losses potentially, even though I took the bet that they wouldn't. Um, but I picked that bet. But again, I will not poo-poo on a season where we win an SEC title, convincingly win it, and make some avenging of the team that beat us and sent us to one of our only losses, so our only, well, one of the two. But
Hmm.
still, the goal is a national title every year. That's what everyone wants to do. And when you don't
Yeah,
get it, it's a failed season in that regard. I think Georgia needs to look in the mirror and do some self-reflecting. Can Kirby do that? I think he can. I think he's smart enough to.
I think there's mirrors in his house. It's big enough. He should have mirrors in his house. I hope
But
he
the
stops and looks at them.
problem I think is when your best friend is your coordinator, your blinders are on. And I'm pretty sure that's where we're sitting. And hey,
Yeah.
we could be back here in a week going, Bobo decided to retire due to health reasons. Probably not really health reasons. He just has got let go. Again, I also think that unless I think if they have another year where we're wondering why we're not developing and we're struggling to get some quarterbacks
Hmm.
recruiting, I would not be shocked if Kirby doesn't make the decision or if the AD goes, Kirby, either he goes or you figure this out yourself. Or, something to that effect of either he goes or you do. Pick one.
Yep.
Because
Exactly.
I can attest that this program all around wants to win in everything. They're
Hmm.
putting more funds toward track, toward basketball. They got beat tonight in basketball, but they're looking good this year. Baseball, they're
I can
devoted to
attest
it.
they are putting a lot of money, a lot more money than usual, into all 3 levels of their hockey team, and I think even
Yeah,
their women's hockey team and so all 4 levels of their hockey
and
because
those are
I
just
see them in the
club
Kennesaw.
teams, everyone.
Yeah,
These are club
yeah,
teams. So
those are club
that
teams.
being
Those are
said,
usually you're on your own. You get about this much funding and you raise the rest of it. No, they're getting some funds into there.
again, Georgia wants to win at every level and be a premier institution when it comes to athletics. Goal of every school, and it should be. As long as you're not operating at that much of a deficit, which a lot of these teams are, because I mean it's
Yeah.
just costing so much. But needless to say, I don't think Georgia will stagnate that long. If Bobo sticks around after next year, then I'll retract that and say, yeah, catch me when he retires. So. We have been going for nearly a full hour, one of our longest
Three.
shows. Let's get these picks in and then let's let these people
Yep.
have the rest of
Yep.
their evening.
I was about to say, yep, we're that's the goal. Now that just because we extended our times, we're still going to try to keep it an hour or less when we can. Sometimes it's just gonna, we are gonna try it next year. We are working on trying to get some guests, some other people to step in,
Yeah, at that point, we're
just
playing
to,
Dungeons and Dragons on here.
yeah, pretty much. I'm not sure who the dungeon master is though.
We'll find one.
Yeah, I was about to say because neither of us are we're too lazy to do it. So
But all right, we got Thursday night. Ole Miss, Miami, VRBO Fiesta Bowl. What you got?
do you want to break it down game by game, or you just want to pick your final and explain how you get there?
You know what? Let's go ahead and do the final because I don't. We may not be able to get a chance to get back on after the 10 days. I'm gonna say,
Well, I mean, tell me who your final is, which tells me who you think are going to win these games, and then I'll tell
and
you mine, and then we'll do our overall pick after that.
honestly, I think our championship game is gonna be played. I think it's gonna be Miami and Oregon. Even though I know the bigger story, I'm gonna say those two.
That's my final. That's my final. I'm even before I started thinking about it ratings wise. Honestly, the ratings thing didn't kick in until about 3 days ago when I said, "What is ESPN going to do if this ends up this way or this way?" And I was like, plus the game I would want to see as somebody whose team is nowhere close to this at all. None of the teams associated with me at all are anywhere close to this. Yeah, Miami, Oregon. I'm a big Dan Lanning fan. I say that all the time, and it's exciting having Miami in it. It helped the ACC this year that they were up, and Oregon is the West Coast powerhouse. There's not really anybody out there that stands with them right now. So you're going to have Miami. I hope I'm doing this right. If you're looking at a map, I guess map would be more either way. You're going to get up in the Northwest and you're going to get down in the Southeast. You're going to get two teams, and in the middle are a lot of people in between that are fans of both of these teams, or Nike fans that just like all the jerseys, or Miami fan, or ACC fans, or people that just don't like Oregon or don't like the normal teams. I just think overall everybody wins if Miami Oregon is that game.
Yeah, I get that. The way I look at it is Indiana and Oregon already played once. It was 30-20 Indiana. I think Indiana can win. I'm not saying that they don't.
Sure, sure.
I
Any of these
just
four
think
can.
right, but I think Oregon's defense and the way they've been playing, again, they gave up 34 to James Madison. Okay, but yet they played better against Texas Tech. They still looked good all year. I just think they might
Mm-hmm.
have a bit more, especially the way their pass rush was. And Indiana's defense stomped out Alabama, so this could be a very tight 10-3 game, 10-7.
Sure.
I'm just picking Oregon just because honestly, I think when it comes down to it, the defense and their talent on offense can surpass what Indiana's got. But I'm not saying I'm going to be upset if Indiana wins. So like I may end up pulling for Indiana in this game. I just think Oregon takes it. And as far as Fiesta Bowl, Ole Miss ain't gonna do what they did to Georgia against Miami's defense. I'm just gonna call
No.
it right now. Georgia's defense needs to do some overhauling on the play calling and some stuff.
And Miami can score when they need to.
Miami can
So,
score when they need to. They don't rely on Carson Beck. I don't want Carson to win the title. I'll tell you that right now. I don't want him to.
spoiler alert.
Um, Nothing against him. I just don't want him to. But I just don't think Ole Miss can hold up against Miami, and Trinidad will not do the things he did to Georgia
No.
against Miami's defense. I think they're too good. The offense is good enough at Miami to win. Um, I think and I'll say this too. I think if Oregon, it's Oregon Miami or Indiana Miami, I don't think Miami wins a game. I
Nope.
think
I,
your title winner should be Oregon. They finally get a national title. I won't be angry because I've always kind of liked Oregon ever since NCAA '03 with Harrington on the cover because of the uniforms. Throwback. That was my first true college football game as a child. Um, Thanks, Dad, for letting me get that early on Christmas Day and let me play it before little brother woke up. Um, but I think Indiana and Oregon, you're going to have a first time national title winner this time around. One of those two.
yeah. Yeah. So we both got Oregon and Miami. So that shifts focus to Monday, January the 19th. at 7:30 on ESPN. There. Oh, where is that game?
Miami Gardens, the Orange
Hmm.
Bowl.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because all it says is presented by AT&T here, and I said you're not in Jerry World. I know you're not in Jerry World.
No, Miami literally could play their home
Wow.
game at their the final game at the home stadium.
Wow. First off, good for them if that happens because that's not supposed to happen. They don't. The NCAA and ESPN does not want that to happen. I will just truth be told that's part of it is they don't want anybody to play a home game like that. Although I think Georgia has before in the Peach Bowl, and a couple of them have.
Uh, Tampa Bay did when they won their Super Bowl with Tom Brady. They played at home and won it. First team to ever do it.
Mhm. At some point, somebody's going to do it. So, but they're going to line it up with that 10 days. They're only getting about a week and a half break, basically 10 or 11 days, depending on
Mhm.
who they are. So, who you got between Oregon or Miami? And I think you already kind of hinted it.
Yeah, I didn't mean to jump the gun there, but I think it's
Oh,
Oregon. Clearly, they're just the better team than Miami. Um, Miami had a good run has had a good season, but Oregon's just got too much talent up there. Dan Lanning, coach on, all these coaches have one thing in common. They've all coached under Saban. Dan Lanning coached directly under Kirby. Lanning's who I kind of sort of want if when Kirby retires. I just don't think it'll happen.
mm-mm.
Um,
Oh, he's got a great gig up there. Why in the world would you leave that?
yeah, he's had a great gig with all the stuff going on. So yeah, I just think Oregon beats Miami down. Um, with their defense. And same thing goes if Indiana gets in the title game. I don't think Ole Miss makes it, but if Indiana's defense and just the offense, like they and Signetti will be pouting and the whole time. They're, so I like
Yeah,
either coach. I like either team on that one. I think your winner comes out of the Peach Bowl.
I agree with that. That's my pick too. I think I said that I had Georgia beating Oregon in the final of the bracket that I
Mhm.
liked the most. Of course, that got blown up really quickly. But I said, well, then I'm going to ride with Oregon the rest of the way because I just, like you said, it's their defense. They're a lot like Indiana. Their defense has shown that they can stop high-powered offense. I mean, just not like contain it, just completely brick wall. You're not coming this way, Gandalf. You shall not pass, and you're not coming this way at all. And I think if it comes down to who can actually put points on the board against the other, I think Oregon can score more than Miami if it comes
Yep.
down to a score fest, or if it comes down to who can get that last drive and put it in. I think Oregon's going to probably win by 10 or 12. I think it's going to be pretty comfortable. Miami might catch up in the end,
Hmm.
but yeah, I got Dan Lanning with a trophy in his hand at the end of all this, and I'm not unhappy about that.
Yeah. I'm good with it. I'm good with either way because hey, my team ain't in it. I get to just be a fan and watch this. So
Yeah,
I hate picking sometimes because I like the idea of Indiana winning. I like the idea of Oregon winning. I think it's fun. Parity. I don't care at that point.
and
I want to see good football games.
yeah,
Um, I don't want to see a blowout, but I don't want to see. I wouldn't mind a nail biter, but also I don't want to stress as a fan watching a football game.
I'm just going to see if it'll. Oh, there it goes. Hey, there we go. Looks like I'm actually sitting on the couch. I knew I
Yeah,
could figure it out. But yeah, just and I just inadvertently figured out that we are this is our second to last show because I guess sometime after that game we have to come on and talk about it a little bit. But
certainly will.
wow, that is really bright. All right, there we go. I knew I could sit on this little couch if I tried. Uh, I guess that's all we got for now. We gave you our picks. We think Miami Oregon's going to be your final. Oregon's going to win this. It's nothing personal, Indiana. Hey, thanks for playing. You're a really great story. Ole Miss, you're great. I want you to do great. Even though I'm a Lane fan, I want you to prove to everybody it's not always just the coach, which is true. And other than that, you have anything?
Happy New Year, dog fans. Enjoy watching the last three football games we get until August. Pray for coordinator changes, quarterback competitions, and another good season under the sun in Athens. So for me, go dogs. See y'all in 2 weeks.
Yep. And for Jake Skinner, I'm Jeremy York, enjoying myself on the comfort of this couch. We'll see you guys on the other side of the championship game. And as always, go dogs, deuces, gooses.